Oh, this feels weird. It's been a while since I actually looked down my camera and spoke like this on this channel. I think it's been about 6 months since I uploaded to the Thatcherjoe channel. Didn't mean it to be that long. Didn't mean to go away that long. Oh, how time flies when you're doing lots of other things. But anyway, I thought I'd do a video where I just sit down and talk about everything that happened last year, as I feel like I have some explaining to do. Why I've not been here on this channel as much, my plans for the future, and just general chit-chatty things. This could actually be the longest video on this channel. Also, I want to point out that I ramble a lot and I go off on so many tangents, so please stay with me. I'm sorry that this is the first video back for a while. But to put into context my last year, I feel like I've got to talk more about the 2 years prior to that, if that makes sense. So going back to like 2017, actually what sort of videos was I making in 2017? I think it all kind of started from about 2 years ago. I did I think like my 6th Dare Sug video. At the end of 2017, I was going for a stage where I was like, at some point, and I've always had this mentality since I first started uploading videos on YouTube, I always had in the back of my head, even though this is an incredible job and it's really fun and feels like a hobby, make sure that you are also thinking of other things to do outside of just this. Don't put all your eggs in one basket and don't just rely on being a YouTuber and that's just it, that's all you are, you're a one-trick pony kind of thing. I never wanted to be that. Everything has a time limit on it. Everyone has their peaks and their troughs, or their peaks and their valleys. I don't know which one it is. Let's go with peaks and valleys. Everyone has peaks and valleys throughout their career and throughout life. And I feel like from watching YouTube over the last couple of years, I've seen so many of my friends and other fellow YouTubers go through these valleys. But anyway, continue with the story. So 2017, I started to hit a bit of a valley, I guess. I started to not enjoy it as much. The thing that was scary for me was that I had tons of ideas, and even now to this day, I still have tons of ideas for videos, but I didn't have the drive to go, that's the one, let's do this one this week. Too many ideas and no drive to make those ideas happen. And then that kind of rode out into 2018 as well. And 2018 was like the year, I feel like, for a lot of creators that I grew up with and worked with were making videos, probably with a thumbnail and title like this one's gonna be, saying, I've got other things now, I'm not enjoying this as much, my heart's not in it, and a lot of them just panicking. You can see panic on their face. Like everything in life, things come to an end, you know, or things change, and I think you've got to change with the times to survive and try new things. And lo and behold, 2018, which started off as not a great year for me, turned into be one of the best decisions I made in my life, and that was signing up to do Strictly. If I had been asked to do that any other year except for 2018, I would have said no. But 2018 for me was a year where I was very mentally ready to try something completely different. And there's always been that thing of like, oh, YouTubers can't cross over onto TV, and it doesn't do well, and stick to what your thing is. Don't try and branch out and do other things, which I've always had the mindset of, why should you be boxed into just being one thing? I always think give everything a go, and then you'll find what you're really good at and what you really enjoy doing. Do that for a few years, or however long it lasts you. Then if you need to, move on to the next thing again. Just keep switching up and changing with the times. So 2018 for me was a year where I was like, do you know what, I'm gonna take this chance and take this risk. I can't dance for but I will give it a go. And I did, and obviously that led to great things, and led to 2019. I still wanted to upload videos, because the thing is, you guys know this, I always mention this in like every interview that I do, is that I get to do all these other cool things because of YouTube. This channel right here, specifically this channel, I have 3 other channels, believe it or not. If you aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to them. I'll leave links down below. But this channel here, the one I'm talking to you on now, even though I went for a stage where I didn't like to call it my main channel because I wasn't using it as much, let's say my vlog channel or gaming channel at the time, this channel will always be the original channel. I've always had it in my mindset that, like, you know, no matter what you get to do that's really cool, Joe, in your life, never neglect what got you there in the first place. Which in my mind, you know, I've always been appreciative of everything that I've got and everything that sort of led me to where I've got to in life. There comes a time, I feel like, where you do need to switch things up or take breaks or refresh the mind. This job is not a normal job. I say that, what do you class as a normal job? I don't know. When people ask me what was harder, YouTube or roof thatching, I'd always say thatching was harder physically because, you know, you're up and down a ladder every day through every weather condition, and it was tough physically, but the internet and social media, it can put, and I feel like especially like nowadays, more so than even when we first started, it can put such a strain on your mental health, and mentally it can absolutely drain you. So everyone sees your failures as well as your achievements. The cons come with the pros, like every job, and the pros of doing this job and being successful at it and having a good run on it is amazing and incredible. And you know, it's kind of like, it always has felt like a joint effort on this channel. From day one to now even, the support from you lot watching at home, it feels like a lot of you have come on this ride with us, and like you've all seen us grow up. It takes, I think, like 3 or 4 clicks and you're back to like my very first video. So anyway, 2019 was more of a year of taking a step back from doing all this, as much as I love it, where I wanted to have a year where I tried new things. 2019 for me was all about trying new things, new experiences, and doing things that were out my comfort zone. So 2019 we did the tour. Once again, you're at packed out arenas. It was terrifying, but I loved it. I thrived on it, even though I fell over a few times. But we won the tour. Actually, no, going back, before we even did the tour, I did, for New Year's, me and Stacey Dooley hosted the New Year's Eve countdown, which was broadcast on BBC One in front of millions and millions of people, live hosting as well, which, like, hosting itself, I struggle with a little bit. Very much out my comfort zone. I feel like I'm not a natural host. I find it very difficult to interview people because in my head I'm thinking, okay, what's the next question? What's the next question? Oh, no. But live hosting is even harder because you've got someone in your ear telling you what to say and do, which in a way is kind of nice, but knowing that it's live puts you on edge. But anyway, start off the new year doing a bit of live hosting with Suggs from Madness, who I've listened to growing up as a kid, so if that was already the perfect start to 2019. Then after that, we did the Strictly tour, which was amazing. We won 28 out of 29 shows, I think. But that was an incredible experience, which I'll never forget. Going on tour in front of all those people in an arena, dancing around and having fun with new friends that you've made from the last year was an amazing experience, and we won a big old trophy out of it as well, which was nice. Then I appeared in an app called Unread, which is a storytelling platform. A lot of you guys will know about Unread. I've posted about it on this channel before, but I did my first sort of bit of acting in that, and played myself, but did like a romance story on Unread. Which was good fun, and that was another thing that was sort of like straight off the back of doing the tour, straight into doing that. It was all stations go, it was like no rest, but I was loving it. I was loving the fact that my diary was so crammed full of everything. And then despite the fact that I didn't fancy myself as a presenter, I then got the call up to be a co-presenter on The One Show with Alex Jones. Once again, another live presenting job, which, once again, Joe, why are you doing this? This terrifies you. Like, and as well, you have like one sort of run through in the studio. I thought we'd then go away and do a bit more script reading and things like that, and bits and bobs, but no, that was it, straight into the show, which I wasn't really aware of, so that was terrifying, and a lot of things actually went wrong, mainly because of me. I'm sorry, One Show. Then after that, I decided I wanted to treat myself with something that I've always loved since I was a kid, and that's an old T1 split screen Volkswagen camper van. I used to go down to Cornwall a lot as a kid with my cousin and uncle and auntie, and we used to go down in a Volkswagen camper van, which took ages. From Wiltshire to Cornwall in a camper van took a long time, but they have so much character and I love them, and I thought I need to treat myself. I need to do something that's for me. I decided to get a camper van. It's real, like, think about it now, it was a real random thing to do. I remember we were on the Strictly tour bus and I was scrolling through Auto Trader and I found the one I wanted, and I was like, oh my word, this looks perfect. This is exactly what I want. And I showed Graham Swan, because he's also into his camper vans, and he was like, that looks like an absolute corker. Then that was it. next thing you know, I'm now the proud owner of a Volkswagen camper van, Chippy, which we've had many adventures in, as you'll hear about later on in this video. Next thing, I won Social Media Superstar of the Year award at the Global Awards. I haven't won an award for social media stuff since the Teen Awards many years ago. Winning this award was lovely, but also felt really weird for me because I felt like massive imposter syndrome of like, I feel like I don't deserve this because of my mindset with YouTube at the time was in my mind I'm on a hiatus from it all, and I won an award for social media. It didn't feel like I deserved it in a way. I think the award was more for the fact that I'm from a social media background, and yet I've been pushing new heights and breaking out of boxes and trying new things. But yeah, I was sort of like, thanks for the award, I should probably upload more. But there's plenty of other people that probably deserve this way more than I do, but thank you so much. And it's something that I will treasure for the rest of my life, and it represents, I guess, what I've sort of done over the last sort of 8 or 9 years. Then Diane and myself decided to start another channel, which probably should just look after the ones I've got rather than try and make new ones. But we wanted to make a channel together. Off the back of working together so intensely on Strictly, we wanted to continue that feeling of doing something together that's still viewed and watched by you guys. So we decided to use the kitchen, and as well, we wanted to both learn how to cook properly anyway. So we thought, if we're going to learn to cook, we may as well film it. So off the back of that, we decided to start In the Pan. Currently has like 250,000 subscribers, I think, which has just grown at an incredible rate for us and for cooking. It's done so well, and we love it, and it's so nice to watch back through, and like just the way it looks and the branding of it. I'm super happy with it, and it seems like a lot of you guys enjoy it too. Next up, once again, back to the presenting. Again, thanks BBC. I did a bit of presenting, co-presenting on Comic Relief. I got to be a Bond-like character. I loved it. I got to meet Basil Brush, Lenny Henry, and that night as well, an incredible amount of money was raised. So to be part of that was lovely. I feel like just one opportunity in television then leads to the next one and the next one and the next one. So I got to appear on a lot of other television programs like Saturday Kitchen, Sunday Brunch, and a few others. I got to also film an episode of Would I Lie to You as well, which is one of my favourite comedy panel shows. For me, that was a huge thing and a huge deal. I was terrified once again because you have to, if you're going to be on there, everyone's expecting you to be funny and to make jokes. And just being sat next to those guys, the level at which like their minds work and how quick they are at getting in there and delivering the joke was incredible. And I spent the whole time just either crying with laughter or in awe at how good these guys were at their jobs. If you want to go and watch that, you can watch it on BBC iPlayer and catch up and all that kind of thing. I'm going to make myself a drink because my mouth is getting so dry. Right, where was I? So next up, this is mind-blowing for me. Me and Casper got to voice characters in a proper movie. If you're an OG fan of this channel, you'll know that I've always had a soft spot for Mila Kunis. So I can now technically say that I've starred alongside Mila Kunis in a film, sort of. Technically. On the movie poster, it says Mila Kunis, Joe Sugg. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of voice acting, something that I've always loved and want to get into more of in the future. Getting to see that in the cinema and be surrounded by people that are really enjoying the film and wanting to say, that was me, but you know, obviously I'm not going to do that. I don't want to ruin their viewing experience, but that was an amazing experience to see other people and loads of little kids really enjoying a film that you've been part of. Anyway, moving on! As a lot of you know, I am partnered with the Prince's Foundation. In 2018, I filmed a video of Prince Charles where I showed him me thatching a roof. And then that friendship continued into 2019. I got invited up to Dumfries House in Scotland to see the work they're doing up there with the Prince's Foundation. I took Tom Syndicate along, which is always a highlight of any trip, bringing that kid along. If you watch the vlogs on my second channel, you'll know how much I love that kid and how fun all our adventures are together. So we went up there, had a load of fun, taught some youngsters how to thatch a roof, and then headed back for the next thing of that year, which was, bear with me, I went on holiday. I had like a little holiday. I had a couple of mini holidays. I went to Marbella with Diane, New York, France, and Mykonos. I say they were holidays. they were like a mini break. It was nice to just get away and have little moments of just together, us time. I remember coming back from Greece, going from the airport to head straight to the studios to go and appear in Dame Edna's New Year's Eve special, which got aired on New Year's Eve just gone. And after that, I then got a gig with Cartoon Network where I got to play a character called Azariel in The Amazing World of Gumball, which was, once again, that's like bucket list ticks for me, is to be part of these kind of shows and films, like these animated, using your voice for characters is something that you guys know, I really freaking love it. I met Baby Spice, that's another one. I met Baby Spice at a radio interview with Casper. We were promoting Wonder Park and she was promoting, I think, the Spice Girls tour. And that was a surreal moment because she asked for a picture with us. I think because her kids were a fan of me and Casper. And it's those kind of moments where you're like, how surreal is our jobs? Because obviously growing up as a kid, Spice Girls were the biggest thing in the UK, by far. You always think that you're never gonna meet them, let alone they're gonna know who you are. And that was a very surreal moment for me. I mean, I don't think Casper had a clue what was going on, bless him. I also filmed a Facebook series with Epicurious called Barely Skilled, which was really fun. Spent a whole shoot day in there, learning some new cooking skills, trying to apply it to In the Pan. But that was really fun. But then it led on to the next thing, which was landing a role in the new Shaun the Sheep movie, Farmageddon, which at this very moment in time is up for a BAFTA nominated film. I got to play the pizza delivery guy, and although that, in the Shaun the Sheep movie they don't use their voices, it's all down to like grunts and noises and stuff like that. To be a part of an Aardman film for me was such a big deal because as a kid I was fascinated by Wallace and Gromit, Chicken Run, like anything that was done using plasticine. Like I found it fascinating how stop frame animation worked, to the point where as a kid I used to go to Animation Club on a Saturday morning and try and do it myself. Which reminds me, somewhere in the archives I've got some of my early stop frame animation videos, which I would love to do a reaction video to, so if you want to see that, make sure you remind me. So being a part of that film for me was one of the biggest things I think of that entire year. And the fact I got to meet Nick Park as well, who's the creator of it all, the mastermind behind Aardman, was a huge deal. Speaking of the BAFTAs, last year, the television BAFTAs, I got to present an award with Shirley Ballas. I remember sitting down at the BAFTAs to watch the show before going up to present the award, and David Schwimmer, Ross from Friends, walks in, sits down right in front of me, which was once again another like, what is this Truman Show life moment. Getting to present an award was incredible. We gave it to Ant and Dec for I'm a Celeb to Get Me Out of Here, so I got to meet them as an added bonus of the day, which was great. Got to shake their hands and say hello, which was nice. Really nice guys. Next up, Diana and myself got to cut a ribbon on something, which is kind of cool in a way. I've never had to cut a ribbon on anything to like sort of officially open something, and we were invited to Chelsea Flower Show to cut the ribbon on a Blue Forest treehouse. Blue Forest are a company that make the most incredible tree houses, so they invited us to come along to the Chelsea Flower Show to officially cut the ribbon on their new kids treehouse. I was very fortunate enough to work with a couple of really cool brands in 2019 as well, like Montclair and EA. And Montclair actually took me on a trip up to, I've forgotten what it's called, somewhere in Scotland, right up in the Highlands of Scotland, and it was a real cool trip. So that's definitely made it up there on the list of amazing things of 2019. I got to meet the missus's parents, which was nice. Diane's brother and his fiance and mum and dad flew out, not at the same time, separate times, but we got to host them here in London and take them on different trips around, which is really lovely. And also around that similar time, the Username series that I did, the graphic novels, I put them into development. So they're currently in development right now, which means that we've got a writer on board and a company around that are currently developing my graphic novels into a potential series, which is really exciting. I didn't think anything like that would happen, so I was quite busy throughout 2019 sort of setting all that up and getting that in place, choosing the right writer for the job, and slowly starting to see the whole Username world fleshed out and being turned into something incredible. So who knows, in the future, keep an eye out for Username on your television screens or laptop screens or whatever. Yeah. Got to meet some icons. Met Chris Lilly for one, someone who I'm a huge fan of. Turns out he's a fan of us too. He was in London after Lunatics came out on Netflix. He came over to the UK and we got to meet up with him and went to a few bars and got to know him. He's such a cool guy and now a friend, which is so weird to say that we've now made a friend in someone that we've always been a huge fan of. And then straight after that, I got to meet Sir David Attenborough. I've got a place in my heart for that man and the work that he does. Well, I went along to the 7 Worlds, 1 Planet advanced screening and he was there. That just kind of summed up the way that year was going for me, and I was thinking, bloody hell, this is just, once again, this year cannot get any more crazier. But it does. I went to Glastonbury, which is cool. it was my 2nd time going now. Got to go with Tom, Syndicate and some friends that I met a few years ago that I've become really, really close friends, so got to all hang out with them. Although what wasn't nice was the fact that on the way home, I broke down in my camper van and had to be rescued by the RAC. So thanks RAC for saving my ass. I appreciate ya. And around that sort of time we announced the Joe and Diane show. The show's actually starting in not long at all. I mean, we've got a couple of months and then that's it, first show is happening. A lot of lines to learn, a lot of vocal warm-ups to do, and a lot of dance routines to remember, but I'm sure we'll be fine. If you want to come and see that, I'll leave a link down below. Go down there, click it, and get yourself a ticket and come along. And then going back to the voice acting, I got to work with the Beano as a kid. Huge fan of the Beano. I used to sit there for hours drawing my own little comic strips in the hope that one day I could be an illustrator for the Beano. Better yet, I got to be a voice of some characters for a Beano project that we worked on with Jack Randall, who's one of our clients at Margarine Management. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Margarine Management has just sort of come on leaps and bounds since we started it as well. We've got an ever-growing roster of amazing clients. I then signed a deal with BBC Studios, which is a production company that take ideas, develop them, turn them into an amazing show to then pitch out to different outlets, be that online streaming services or television shows or whatnot, which is exciting and fun and something that obviously a lot of you guys at home won't know it's going on in the background, but something that I'm really passionate about and something that I want to be a part of. And then I decided to audition for a West End role. Getting the audition, gave it my all, and then got the role in a hit West End musical called Waitress. I played the role of Ogie. I think that was one of the biggest things for me of 2019 because it was my first time singing in front of a live audience. Obviously did the things on YouTube boy band back in the day and released a little joke song that we did last year with the 1 Hour Band. But this was the first time very much out my comfort zone singing to an audience and also acting as well on stage. I was so scared to do it and I just didn't know if I was ready for this kind of thing and I didn't know how it would go down. And I'll be honest with you, like a lot of people didn't have high hopes for me and completely wrote me off before even giving me a chance to show what I've got and to give it a go. And like I've said before in interviews, that kind of stuff just motivates me more to then be like, all right, if your expectation is low, that's kind of good for me because it means that it's given me a bar. The bar's been set and it's in my favour, been set quite low, so I can prove to you that I can do it and, you know, hold my weight in it. To which I did, and I feel like it went really well. So many people that came to see were shocked at how I performed. In a good way though. I've heard that guy there is really good. Yeah. He's great. Although you're doing the same thing every day, 8 times a week for 2 or 3 months, it's the company that you're with, they're just absolute legends. They make it so much fun to do. It's fun to do anyway. I'm happy with doing the same thing every day. It's routine. I love routine. I thrive off routine and structure of my day. But to be around that cast, everyone on that team was amazing, incredible, and I met some real friends for life. That was a huge part of my 2019, as well as doing the Strictly podcast, which I also took on at the end of the year. I feel like the end of the year for me was just a cram of like 15 different things at once. I don't know how I got through it, but we did. We got there. I'm still alive to this day. Hallelujah. But I hosted the Strictly podcast with a lady called Kim Winston. The podcast went down really, really well. I think we smashed all records of the podcast and got a load of people getting involved in the podcast, and it was nice. My first sort of experience of being part of a podcast like that, and it was an amazing experience and I loved it. And then also, just to make it even more busier those days, I said yes to being in the Strictly Christmas special, so I took part in that. We didn't win. It was lovely to get back in the ballroom with Diane and dance with her again. And then also, and a lot of people don't know this, whilst I was doing Waitress and the Strictly podcast, the Christmas special, and I was also, on like the one day off I had, filming the Great British Bake Off celeb special for Stamp to Cancer, which was, obviously it's not out yet, so I can't say much about it, but make sure you watch it because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's something you do not want to miss, let's just say. Something happens that you're not going to want to miss. But once again, for an amazing cause, Stamp to Cancer. And then speaking of charity, I got to work again with Age UK, which I'm an ambassador for. I did a campaign with them earlier on in the year with Cadbury's. I got to appear in an advert for mental health. The NHS ran their first ever mental health advert, which I got to be a part of, which was really, really cool. And also in that time, I was in an episode of a BBC Two show called I'll Get This, which should be airing at some point soon in the near future. I thought, right, everything's done now, complete, get on a plane, go to Australia and have a break. And that pretty much was my 2019. Are any of you still awake? Have half of you fallen asleep? Now throughout all that time on 2019, I still uploaded a lot on my vlog channel to mainly remind you guys I'm still here and still alive and still doing stuff. But as you can probably imagine from all that, there was a lot to do in a year. But also, I want to point out that I don't want to come across like I'm showing off of look at what I managed to get done in a year. That's not the kind of vibe I want to go to with this. It's more of a case of explaining why the direction that my career's taken, and also like the reason as to why I haven't uploaded as much on here. Because for this channel, I always feel like I want to upload thought out more, like they're more like a, I mean, even like a challenge video or an impressions video, like those videos aren't just like a film in a day kind of vloggy type thing, you know, it's a big camera, it's like an actual thing. It's more of a produced video, if that makes sense. Whereas I didn't really feel like I really had time to fully invest my time into making those kind of videos about halfway through the year. So I sort of just gave it a break. I thought rather than making a big deal of it and saying, guys, I'm taking a break, I'm going away, I'd rather just be quiet, slip away, no one will notice, I'm sure, and then, you know, just come back when and where and make videos, you know, when it feels right. You can't force yourself to make videos. You can, but I feel like you guys would see straight through it. You know, like I said before, you're not stupid. You know when someone's not enjoying what they're doing. But also 2019, you know, it wasn't all I did this, I did that. There was also a lot of things that didn't go my way in 2019, like jobs that I hoped to get and fell through, things that I've been working on for ages that then fell through, and I think mentally I went through a few rough patches as well. So 2019 was a year of figuring out what I could and couldn't do, trying new things, doing things that scared me, having amazing highs but also having the occasional lows. If anything, I do hope it inspires some people to try something new that they haven't tried before and never box themselves into one thing and think, you know, I can only ever be this. And don't think for a second to care what anyone else thinks about you making a change in your life. If you've got the resources and you can do it, do it. Give it a go. Life's too short. Give everything a go. You'll find out what you truly love in life and you won't ever look back. I also asked my members of this channel and people on Instagram for some questions. So I thought I'd read some out. Little Q&A session to end this huge long video off. I'm really sorry. Will you do more pranks? Yes. A lot of questions that I got were, are you still happy with your uploads and like what sort of content do you want to make on this channel? So obviously I think a lot of you got the fact that like, he's not uploaded for half a year. Is he doing one of these classic YouTuber crises of like not knowing what works with their audience anymore and that kind of thing? Which, yeah, kind of. But also, I went for a stage where I was like, I don't want to do the dare sugs and the pranks. And I was like, so at the end of the day, I'm 28. Do you know what I mean? I was like, how long can I still do prank videos for? I know a lot of my mates give me stick, like from back home, being like, you're 28, how are you still making prank videos? And in my defense, I always say like, I think pranks are for any age. Pranks is just like having fun. Like, you guys know the pranks that I do are all harmless pranks. They're all like they're not disrupting with public awkward kind of like putting people in uncomfortable positions. It's always like very light-hearted, fun pranks. And I think pranks is one of the big things that have made this channel. Like, if I look through my analytics, I can see the videos that I've watched the most in the last 48 hours, and it's always the impressions and the pranks. They're always up there as the most watched videos. It's kind of who I am anyway. Like, even off camera, I am a bit of a prankster. That's just who I am. I would probably say, actually, I wouldn't stop the pranks on this channel, especially as it's kind of like what made this channel. I still, if I can think of the right ideas, I would still definitely do pranks. What's the most incomprehensible thing you achieved in 2019? I don't actually know what incomprehensible means. I think you just can't comprehend. I can't comprehend this. I can't get my head around this. Got it. I understand. Right, I think it would have been Waitress. Because the thing is, it's not even like you're not getting up on stage in front of your audience like what we used to do with the Joe and Casper Hit the Road tours. We would go there knowing that everyone that was there was a fan of Joe and Casper. Whereas with this, it was like you're going out in front of the general public who are here to see a show that's bigger than just you, Joe Sugg. So that terrified me, the fact that I had to prove myself to complete strangers with my voice, my dance moves, and my acting. So that whole experience for me was the most incomprehensible thing of 2019. Am I still gonna upload regularly? I would like to think so. The best thing I ever did with my channels was say I'm not a daily vlogger, because by saying that, it kind of gave me a get out of jail free card, because a lot of my friends vlogged daily, and if they missed one upload, people would be on them like a ton of bricks, being like, it's your one job to upload and you can't even do it, you can't even stick to a schedule. And then if I didn't upload, it was fine, because I'd be like, look guys, I said I'm not a daily vlogger. And it really kind of, in a way, lowered expectations, I guess, of my upload schedule. But like, you know what I mean? It made it way less pressure. The whole Sugg Sunday thing put pressure on me, because it was like, oh, Sunday, I need to get a video out because it's Sunday, and I can't miss a Sugg Sunday. Whereas now I feel like, because I've left it 6 months, it's kind of, people aren't hoping out for a Sugg Sunday every week now. But I would like to get back into more of a routine with uploading. It's just finding the time, obviously with all the other things going on, to get down and do it. But I think now that I've had a bit of a break, I mean, I'm not promising anything, because the amount of times I've watched other YouTubers be like, right, I'm back on it, I've had a break, videos every day now, and then it lasts a week and then they're back to not uploading again. I don't want to be that guy, so I'm not promising anything, but I would love to. I mean, I've enjoyed making this video, if that helps. YouTube's changed. Since the days when the videos that I used to make were popular, you know, YouTube's a different place now, it's completely changed, and I'm like a fossil now, so I've got to try and adapt to get with the times. We'll get some more videos up. But speaking of which, next question, when's the song coming out? As you know, I've made a bit of music as well in my time off. Last year, we made a song in 1 hour, and we've made a song January 31st, to be precise. Are you still close friends with all the original British YouTube squad? The original YouTube British squad would have been like me, my sister, Alfie, Marcus, Jim, Tanya, Louise. Was there more? If there's more, I'm really sorry. Oh, Casper. Sorry, Casper. I'm still friends with all of them. Most of the people that I meet, I get on with. I don't get involved in the drama, and I like everyone. I like everyone, guys. I'm chilled. Whether we see each other or not is a different question. There's some that I haven't seen for years, and that's a shame, but that's life, isn't it? You know, but it doesn't mean we're not friends. Like, people have mentioned this before in the past in questions on Q&As, so I've seen them myself, and you know, they say, you know, we're all busy doing our own things and different careers and stuff, and some people don't believe it. I'm like, no, it is true. Like, we all have different focuses and things we want to work on and our own lives, so it is hard to keep a group together like that, especially a big group. It's hard to keep a big group together if you're not all on the same page and all on the same focus of one thing. What new content do you plan to upload? I do want to sort of switch up my content a little bit and try new things, but also still, you know, pay homage to the old stuff, because at the end of the day, a lot of people that watch this channel still want the old stuff, which this video has definitely not been for you. If that's the case, I'm sorry. But I definitely feel like the love for being back in front of the camera in my own control, doing this right now, is, you know, is coming back. So I'm enjoying it again. So far, touch wood. We should probably wrap this video up, because it's probably gone for way too long. I apologise. I hope you enjoyed this little chat. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you want to. Oh, before I go, on the In the Pan channel, we launched some merchandise. But if you want to go check that out and get yourself some In The Pan merchandise, then link down in the description and get on there and get some from the shop. But other than that, I will see you again, hopefully, very, very soon with another video. But until then, what I used to do, do you know what was scary? I actually forgot how I used to end these videos. Ooh. But until then, and I'll see you next week with another subject. Got it. See, it's still in there. And I'll see you in the near future with another Sug Sunday special. Hoo-hoo!